That's a decent sized one.
Jason Scholl is a rock lover.
I collect mainly from two areas. They come from Washington and Idaho.
Watch what happens.
I just go on big walks and hikes and kick rocks over and try to determine what material might end up being good and what ends up being, what we call leverrites, where you just leave it right there.
With a heavy pack full of rocks, Scholl hikes over 10 miles a day when he's on the hunt.
So I've got to have the right kind of pack, the right kind of shoes. I've got to be protected from rattlesnakes. I've got to have water. I've got to be able to take weight out.
When he returns home, he rarely has any space left in his backpack full of rocks.
I just started putting them out on display, and every day it grew a little more, and I got new ideas, and so here we are.
Scholl owns Brain Body Balance Rock Shop. He has collected every rock on display.
This is one of my absolute favorites. And I found that stone in some river gravel and did not know that it was anhydrous, which means it has water inside of it. I just was looking at it one night in my living room, enjoying it, and rolled it with a light, and sure enough I saw that, and I think I woke up the whole house. So my wife found this one. It's called a saginite. The formation actually goes up into the agate. It looks like a little explosion.
If you were to think of Pullman, let's say 20 million years ago, we would have been in the forefront of the Rocky Mountains.
Curtis Wilkie is an earth sciences professor at WSU.
And so we would have had these peaks kind of sticking out everywhere. And those peaks now are Kamiak Butte and Steptoe Butte. And they have metamorphic rocks at age of about 1.5 billion years old.
Wilkie is also a rock hounder himself.
Here's the garnet.
From dirt-covered rocks to shining crystals, Scholl follows a meticulous process to get these minerals ready for the shelf.
Starts out in rough, dirty form, and I usually just soak them in water for a while.
After a few days in a soak, Scholl begins cleaning.
The longer you soak them, the more the material loosens up. And then I'll pull them out and scrub them like crazy. And I have all these tools here for scrubbing and picking, and I put goggles on and just go to town and scrub like crazy.
If rocks need additional help ditching the dirt, Scholl uses cleaning agents and then drops the rocks in mineral oil.
And you can see almost right away the lines start to come out. And after like maybe 24 hours or so, the oil seeps down into all those little cracks. It's getting clearer and clearer even now. So this is a piece that has come out of the oil, and then I just wipe it down. Usually that's all it takes to kind of get them ready for the shelf. I want to be able to provide material that's inexpensive. The community aspect of it and contributing to other people is the part that really ties this all together for me.
Along with a passion for rock hounding, Scholl is also interested in minerals for their metaphysical properties.
I have this motto called "Don't argue with the fish." It's a saying that I use. I was a professional fisherman, and when you're getting them, you're getting them. It doesn't have to make sense, right? You don't have to argue with the fish, you're getting them. The idea is that if it makes you feel good, if you enjoy it, if you are calmed by something, by the presence of a stone, if it reminds you of somebody and that brings good feelings, I don't really have to understand it completely. Don't argue with the fish, right?
Okay, so I started collecting rocks when I was probably around 5.
Chloe Gage, a WSU student, often spends her free time visiting rock shops around the Palouse.
In a way, they kind of give me a sense of comfort that I don't really have with any other type of object. There's always meaning behind these rocks, and I'm not a very spiritual person, but with this it kind of gives me a little sense of spirituality that sometimes when I'm really stressed, these rocks can hold my stress.
To me, they're little like art objects in some respects, and that's why a lot of people will collect them, is that the shape, it's natural, and just the luster, the color, it's something that you find that is made by nature. And so for me, mineral collecting
I've kind of fallen in love with the material and the way it makes people feel, the way it makes me feel, and it fell into place. My whole life I tried to make things happen, right? And I did, but it didn't feel quite right ever. I've probably done 9 different things in my life. This just kind of happened, and it is definitely the most natural, right feeling thing I've done, and I seem to, no matter what I do, it just seems to keep getting more momentum, and people really love it, so don't argue with the fish, right?
In Pullman, I'm Vonna Fair, Murrow News 8.